All right, good evening, everyone. For those joining us from outside Nigeria, we know some of you are on a different time zone, so pardon us when we say evening. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. We appreciate you for creating time to take part in this webinar. Special thanks to Delta State chapter of the Nigerian Library Association, digital citizens, and the webinar team for making this program a reality. My name is David Ofili, and I will be our teacher tonight. Alongside me are the moderators Nelson Edewo, he is the chairman Nigerian Library Association, Delta State chapter, and Victor Ejechi, who is a member of the digital communications crew of the Nigerian Library Association. They will be sharing vital information with us as the webinar progresses. So be sure to watch out for messages from Nelson and from Victor. Please, we are encouraged to show some love to digital citizens, the guys behind the technical side of this webinar, by liking this video and subscribing to the channel to keep abreast of subsequent information from them. So that's how you like the video. Just click on that thumb there and click on the subscribe button to subscribe. Thank you. The overview, I won't be talking about the overview because it is assumed that you guys read that on the registration page. However, it is important you know some of the reasons why it hasn't been easy getting rid of fake news and misinformation. The proliferation of digital devices has made it very easy for people to create and share any kind of information whenever and wherever, and that is one of the reasons it's not easy to fight fake news and misinformation. Also, some news that are fake and misleading contain a mixture of correct and incorrect information, which makes it difficult to tell what is true and accurate and what is not. Adding to the confusion is the fact that fake news and misinformation are sometimes shared by trusted friends and family members. And sometimes annoying is the influence of ads. We know it that the more you click, the more money someone makes somewhere. And one of the results of that is the crazier the headline, the more money the information carrier is likely to make. Nevertheless, in this webinar, we'll be teaching you how to be fact detective. And your fact-checking skill will go above basic at the end of this webinar. So we are sure that is what you're going to get at the end of the webinar. Quickly, let us look at the meaning of fake news and compare it with misinformation. Fake news is a form of news consisting of deliberate disinformation. The basic thing you need to understand here is that it is deliberate and it is to disinform. It is deliberate, and the intention of the author or the creator of the information is to disinform. On the other hand, misinformation, which a lot of people also see as part of fake news, sometimes the intention of the creator of the information is not to disinform. Sometimes they just put out information out of ignorance. Sometimes their work is not well researched. They just put out the information. But what you need to understand is that for misinformation, the information is not accurate. It is not correct. It is not correct, whether the intention is for good or not for good, but the information is not correct. That is misinformation. The information is not captured wholly. It's just in part. So that is it. It is important we understand some of the types of fake news and misinformation. Disinformation, this is information that is false. It is false and it is deliberate. That is disinformation. It is to disinform. It is to harm people. It is to get at somebody. Malinformation is information that is based on reality, but the aim is to inflict pain or harm on someone. We see this a lot, with politicians. The guy probably had a past, and now he's running for office. Someone puts up information about him, trying to tell us about the guy's past, and the question is, why are you telling us that? Why are you giving us that information? Is it for you to enlighten us so that we will make informed judgment and cast our vote wisely, or you're just putting the information to get at that person, to hurt the person. So that is malinformation. Though the information is correct, but the intention is to hurt someone. Yellow journalism, the target here is to get to you emotionally. It uses sensationalism, and the titles are often exaggerated. It is to get to someone. They just put the titles in a way that they spark off some emotional reaction in you. It's like you're overly happy, you're angry. It gets to you somehow. And clickbaits, like baits, we know what baits are. They are just there for you to click. Most times the intention is dubious. Clicking, the information you're going to see when you click is not the intention. Probably when you click, someone is making money from it, or you're going to meet content that is, the click is the thing. So most time they just encourage you all the time, click, click, click. They tell you 1 day left, you have to get this thing. Everybody in your country is getting this thing. Just 1 day left for it to go. And sometimes you see beautiful women in bikinis and all of that. You are tempted to click, and when you click, the content you get is different from what you expect. Those are baits. Propaganda, like we all know, most times is to spark off some emotional rather than a rational response in you. We see this a lot in politics. Somebody writes about a government, for instance, and tells us all the good things about that government, what they have done. They've built 10 schools, they've done this, they've done that, they've created 2 million jobs, and that. But nobody is saying that the budget that guy had for that particular year, they haven't used it correctly. What you claim that they have done is not commensurate with the budget that they actually had. You're promoting one side of the story. You want to get to people emotionally, and you don't want them to think rationally, to see the clear picture. That is propaganda. Spoof is often a joke. It's a joke. You say something, but the intention is actually a joke. And satire is using witty language. You say something, but you actually mean the opposite of it. That is news satire. Because of time, I'm not going to talk about these other ones, but I will encourage all of us to look them up. They are important. It is important you know these types of fake news and misinformation. So at a glance, if you see any information at a glance, you can tell, okay, this is fake because it is black propaganda, it is gray propaganda, it is white propaganda, computational propaganda, junk news, pseudo news, hoax news, news parody, and rumor. So it is important the different types. Now, well, I'll save this for last. We are not going to be talking about this now, but it is an interesting experiment conducted by the Stanford History Education Group. It's very, very interesting. If we have time at the end of the webinar, we can come back to it. They actually got 10 historians with PhD full-time jobs at universities, 25 undergraduate Stanford students, 10 professional fact checkers, and they gave them some tasks to do, to actually look at certain websites or certain sources and tell which is more credible and all of that. Certain tasks for them to do. The result is amazing. I hope we have time to come back to this so that we can talk about it. Okay, quickly, let us look at the strategies. If you have to fact check, if you want to learn how to fact check, what do you do? How do you go about it? What are the strategies? This is the part that you actually want to understand. First thing you want to do is to investigate the source. This is the first thing that comes to mind. This is what comes to your head first. Investigate the source. And how do you go about investigating the source? Let's look at this story, for instance. I'm sure those of you in Nigeria actually saw this. It was circulated not too long ago. Dangote is the richest black man on the planet. Dangote was set to share 20,000 naira weekly to all Nigerians just to stay safe, stay at home, and you get 20,000 naira from Dangote. How do you investigate the source? When I saw this information, first thing that came to my mind was the URL. Getting information from Tiny. If you know Tiny URL very well, you know that they are not a news site. Tiny URL is, if you have a very long URL like the one down here, or maybe longer, you need a shorter one to share with people. You go to Tiny URL and they generate shorter URL from you. When I saw the message tinyurl.com, just like that, that is the actual URL of tinyurl. I knew there was something fishy about this. But then, if you don't want to conclude at this stage, you want to go further and check some more things. So when this message came, I saw tiny URL. If you click on this message, it displays this one down here. It changes to this one down here. But even at that, it is still not correct because it is still tiny URL slash. If you understand how tiny URL works, you know it's not like this. Okay, let's not conclude so fast. When I clicked on this URL down here, it took me to this. This is actual URL. This one up here is the actual URL, and this is the website where that information came from. And so if you're not very familiar with websites and URL, you don't want to conclude from the name, what else do? You go to the next. We are verifying the source right now. You check the name of the website. Do I want to believe information coming from Niger on media? Does it really sound somehow to you? Does it really sound good that these guys can give you good information? You check, and the guys, they say they are the best news portal. So if you're still not sure whether to condemn, whether to judge at this point, then you go further. You go to the About Us page of the site to understand what their mission and their purpose. You want to know if they are credible, you want to know if they are established, you want to know if they are an authority in that area. But unfortunately, these guys don't have anything about them. No About Us. I put that information there myself. Nothing about themselves over there. The only thing we know about them is that they say they are the best news portal. That's okay. Let's assume we don't want to conclude now. We are still investigating the source. Even if these guys tell us that they are an award-winning organization, they've been there since 1954, they've done this, they've done that, you don't stop there. You still go ahead to check what the web says about them, what the web says about the source. You want to see what other people are saying. What is the opinion of other people about this particular source? Always check what the web says about them. Then, who is the author? You want to check for the author. Is the author somebody, a real person? Is the author credible? Unfortunately, this guy didn't have the guts to put his name here. So I'm saying admin. Most times on corporate websites, that's when you see admin posting stuff. But if you're so sure of what you're putting online, I think you should also be confident about putting your name. So from this right now, no author information, no information about the site and all of that. Well, we may want to conclude that that information is not correct. Okay, another thing you want to do when you're fact checking is to rely on established and accountable sources. One of the ways you do that is to trade up. Now let's look at something. This is information about coronavirus treatment, precautions, and all of that coming from this website. This website is not familiar. If you look at the URL howbiotech.com, and that's the name of the website, howbiotech.com, is it a site you want to believe on their information, the information you get from them? Howbiotech.com. Well, I still went further to read about them. I clicked on About Us on the site, and this information came out. They say they are a group of biotechnology students, and they are trying to promote a good cause anyway. Well, the information they have given us about the coronavirus may not be wrong, but I'll put your keyword there and put the name of your source in brackets. Put the name of your favorite source in bracket. That helps your favorite source to float to the top. So coronavirus, whatever it is you're looking for, just put your search term there or your keyword and put your favorite source in bracket. It floats to the top, as we can see, Mayo Clinic and that. Okay, another thing you want to do is to check for the publication date. You want to check for sign of an original source. You want to check for supporting source. How do you go about that? Now, this news now is in circulation currently. People are still circulating this information, and because the title is somewhat frightening, Earth to narrowly escape collision with asteroid 150 feet wide. Friday. Today is Wednesday and we are talking about Friday 2 days from now. You want to quickly jump to the story to see what is happening, to know if it's true or not. Earth Friday afternoon 2:24 p.m. EST. Planet Earth will be buzzed by, when you see this information, it creates some kind of emotions in you. Remember, we said anything that creates some emotional reaction in you somehow, suspect it. We are not saying it's fake at that point, but you have to dig deep. Now, but what you don't have to forget is checking the date of the publication. That is also part of fact checking. Now, because you jumped quickly into the story, you left the date out. If you see this information that is still in circulation, it was actually published February 2013. February 2013. So it is not relevant. It is not relevant. It is fake. It is fake. Now, check for signs of an original source. This is a website about, this information is about the coronavirus, and it's coming from blog.druna.com. It's not a site that you're familiar with. So do you want to go with what they are saying? Now, even if these guys have written something nice, what I'm trying to do, I'm checking for signs of an original source. Did they get this information from somewhere and all of that? And once you just scan through very quickly, yeah, there we go. You see, here they mentioned WHO, World Health Organization. Down there, they also mentioned Center for Disease Control and Prevention. So, World Health Organization has provided all relevant facts. So, if the WHO has provided all relevant facts, then I need to drop this and go to WHO. So, when you're fact checking, check for signs of an original. Go to the original and check. Down here, according to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. All right. So this is a sign of an original source. Just go to the original source. And good enough, these sources are even more established sources than where we are getting this information from. So that's one of the things you want to look out for when you get information shared with you on Facebook, on WhatsApp. Always check for that. Now, I'm sure most of us around the world saw this information. In Nigeria, this information was carried by a mainstream source, The Punch. The Punch is a mainstream source in Nigeria, and this is what they put here. To be safe from coronavirus, shave your beards, CDC ones. They quoted CDC, the Center for Disease Control. They quoted them here, and I fell for this because one, I got the information from The Punch, and secondly, they quoted CDC, and I was like, wow, two powerful sources. What else? I shared this thing, I tweeted about it. Not long, I realized that information was incorrect, absolutely incorrect. I went back to delete the tweets that I did. Now, I'm sure we have seen this infographic before now from the CDC. The CDC did not say anything about shaving your beards and coronavirus, nothing. This was a 2017 infographic the CDC posted on their blog, and they were talking about workers who their day-to-day job required them to use respirators. They were giving them some pointers. That was what the CDC was talking about. They did not say anything. It was 2017. After all, at that point, the coronavirus was not declared a pandemic. So why did this guy? I'm sure somebody quoted the CDC out of context. Probably the Punch wanted to be the first guys to carry the information, to put it out there, but they quoted CDC out of context. And now, what are we looking for here? We are looking for supporting sources. Now, in their information here, to support their claim, they quoted CDC and they quoted CNN. When you see supporting sources like this, just click on them and read. It will amaze you that if you read the story from CDC, it has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with the coronavirus. I am sure that the Punch actually got the message. They got a lot of hits from people, and they later came back to put to give us an update. That was when they added this updated here. It wasn't there originally, and they also added to the information this, that they are now telling us that the CDC didn't relate this information to the coronavirus and all of that. So they realized that they goofed there. And CDC, I'm sure they also got an information from people that people are quoting you out of context, including where the information came from. It came from CNN. I'm sure the person who put that information there on CNN actually meant it a different way. I read that article too. It's slightly different from the way the Punch put the information, but none of them mentioned that it had nothing to do with the coronavirus. And CDC actually said this blog and infographic from 2017 are intended for workers who wear respirators at work. All right, let us check for bad English. You see messages, information shared with you on social media. You see messages on information on the internet. Some of the ways that you can tell if they are fake or they need to be checked. Bad English, check for logos and check for clickbait. You'll be wondering, how does bad English help you fact check? For instance, look at this. School is more than reading, writing, and arithmetic. I'm sure this person meant to say arithmetic and E. But does that wrong spelling make this fake news or misinformation? No, it doesn't. We are only saying that that is a red flag. That is a red flag. This is headline. This is bold. If you can make a mistake on your headline, bold headline, then it tells a lot about your ability to focus or to reread or something. So the point here, the assumption is that mainstream sources have better journalists or better writers who will not make repeated errors like this. It is assumed that for their reputation, they don't want to make this kind of mistake. So this actually is a red flag. It means look at the source, dig deeper, look at the source deeper. See another wrong spelling here. County spelling bee, postponed. This person missed the P here. He wanted to say, or they wanted to say postponed. This is headline. This is not to be taken lightly. So because of this kind of error, you want to investigate the author. You want to know if they are credible. You want to know if the information is false. Then on the right, you see recent photos of fugitive former police officer Caesar were all photoshopped and was released. This person meant to say they were photoshopped and they were released. So this is grammatical error. It doesn't make the news fake, but it's a red flag. It means you should check, dig deeper, and understand who this person is and what this website is all about. And this guy says here, the third yesterday in January. Obviously, that's an error. His name is observed on the third yesterday in January. That's an error. So these are signs that you should dig deeper. Okay, how does logo concern this? It is very unprofessional. Many people don't know this. Very unprofessional for you to use the wrong logo of an organization. This could get you into trouble. It could get you into trouble. Now, somebody wants to write something about the World Health Organization. You go to the internet, go to Google Images, and you check for logos. You check for logos, and all these logos, all of them are for the World Health Organization. Maybe to add some aesthetic value to your website or to your source, you decide to go with this one with a blue background. Okay, beautiful. Now, one of the things I do, if you want to check for facts, actually, if you see any logo, query that logo, go to the original source and see if that is actually their logo. If you look at this now, World Health Organization, that is not their logo. This is their logo. This is the logo they are using. This logo is blue. This logo is blue. But the other logo was white. See, this one is white with a blue background. This is not their logo. So these are pointers. That you should dig deeper, you should check more, and don't make that mistake. This is actually a serious thing. You may think that logo, it is actually serious. Mainstream sources, they know this, so they don't want to fall for this mistake. Clickbait, anything that encourages you, overly encourages you to click. Suspect those things. They should create some suspicion in you. Now, the modular smartwatch that challenges Apple and Samsung has raised 1.5 million, blah blah blah. Now, if you come down here, see the $1.5 million Kickstarter, only 1 day left. Boom, that's the clickbait. Only 1 day left. You don't want to be left out of this. Only 1 day left. You want to click, even if you don't have the money, even if you don't have what they require. but you just want to see, you want to click. Down here, there's another one. Find out why over 4,000 people have backed blogs. First, you're asking yourself, I don't even know what blogs are. And over 4,000 people have backed blogs. Wow, you want to understand what is going on. You want to understand why this number. You click. That's a bit. Now, we see things like this all the time on website. You see now if you look up here, where I have this red mark here, you see sponsored links. This is a sponsored link, but does that make ads on sources on websites fake? No, it doesn't make them fake. But what we are trying to verify here are clickbaits, something that wants you to always click. It's a trap. It's a trap. It's either you're generating traffic for someone, or you are making money for someone, or someone is leading you to a wrong website. Someone is leading you to a dubious website. Now, if you look at this second ad down here, new anti-snoring device leaves doctors baffled in Nigeria. I bet you, if you're looking at this thing from Ghana, what you'll be seeing there is leaves doctors in Ghana baffled. If you're in India, what you're going to see here, new anti-snoring device leaves doctors baffled in India. These things work with your location. I have seen it. They work with your location. If you leave one place to the other, they have programmed them that way so that they encourage you to click. Now, if you click on this, for instance, you want to understand what is this that is leaving doctors in Nigeria baffled, and you click on it. This is what you get. It has nothing to do with doctors in Nigeria getting baffled. New invention gives hope to those suffering from chronic snoring. If you read the story, okay, they are still talking about that device. It's okay. At least they are talking about that device, at least. But now, if you look at this page very well, look at the URL, look at the previous URL, World News Daily Reports. This is where it came from. You clicked and it took you to another URL, ecoplanetdeals.com. Now, this page also has its own baits. Click here to activate the discount 50 code. And you're telling yourself, okay, even if I don't need this device, I could get it since I have 50% discount. Why not just click on this thing? If you click on this, it takes you to yet another website, techmsx.com. So you generated traffic, or you made money for the first guy, the second guy, and here you go, the third guy. This is where you are right now. So they are always leading you to that. But we are not saying that makes the website a fake website. But what we are trying to say is that you put up something called click restraint. You don't click on everything. You don't click on everything, but these are also signs that you should investigate the source, because a lot of people out there right now, the reason why they are floating websites and blogs is for these ads. They want to make money. It's not like their sources are not credible. So that is one of the reasons you should check those very well. Now, we often encourage people that if you're fact checking, your aim is to determine whether it is fact or not fact. We tell you, don't read, just scan through and look for a lead. Look for an original source, look for something that gives you a lead. But then, if you have to read, if you really want to know the story, you have to read everything, read very well. Read thoroughly, read beyond the headline, read downward, read around the story, and understand the story very, very well. Now, you also have to be very objective when you are fact checking. The story out there may not agree with your opinion, but when you're fact checking, please put personal biases aside. Leave your biases aside. The question you should ask yourself, this guy who has put this information out there, have they done their homework very well? If they have done their homework very well and they pass all fact checks, good and fine. Another thing you want to do when you want to fact check, if it gets difficult, please get help. Send to someone who knows how to fact check, maybe a professional colleague or something. Get help from people to help you. Don't always be in a hurry to share. make sure that you have checked and you are satisfied. Lastly, you'll be using cross references, and now we are going to do a demonstration with cross references. You'll be using fact checking sources. The reason why it is important to use fact checking sources is that they make the work easy for you. These guys have already verified or debunked. They make the work very easy for you, so you want to use fact checking sources. Okay, quickly let's look at these sources. What are the tools? What are the tools for fact checking? On this page I have AFP fact check. They fact check content, in local languages. Content in local languages, they fact check them. Africa check, of all the tools I have on my list, these guys contain, they fact check more African stories than any other people. These guys are doing a lot of good work. Canada fact check. So if you look at the tags here to the right, top right, we have news stories. These guys basically talk about news stories. That's what they talk about basically. These guys stories. Domain big data, they help you verify domain names. Who do a demonstration, you will understand better. If these guys carry a lot of stories from Canada, that's Canada fact check. XIF data, they help you verify images. They give you a good information about images. Sometimes they can tell you when that image was created. They can give you the camera information. Sometimes it's a detailed tool. You may want to check that. US politics. Every now and then we hear that Donald Trump did this, Donald Trump said this, and all of that. You can come to factcheck.org to check if it has to do with US politics. Canadian politics, Google reverse image, another very popular one for images. Hoaxy. Hoaxy allows you visualize the spread of fake news. You want to check how fake things, maybe you're a creator of fake news, you want to see how it spreads on the internet. These guys help you visualize spread of they can help you track fake news and the efforts people are making to combat fake news. You can track all of them on Hoaxy. Invid is a very important tool because these days we see videos, a lot of doctored videos. So these guys verify videos. But the only challenge right now is that they have stopped their free service. Now, for you to use Invid, you must be a registered member. Open Secret, US Politics, PolitiFact, US Politics, Snopes. These guys have been there. They've been there a long time. They are one of the most popular guys. Snopes they are doing a lot of job. They have plenty of stories that they have verified and debunked. Snopes. Thin Eye reverse image, I like this one so much. I use it a lot. They don't only give you information about images. You can tell if the image used on a particular website is fake or it is correct. But one of the things that I do with this also is this: if I see something that I'm not familiar with, I'm very interested in wildlife, I see a snake I'm not familiar with, or a species of spider, or a plant that looks strange, I can take a picture of it and upload it on Thin Eye. Thin Eye will give you we tell you what likely that the likely plant that is, or the likely animal that is. I use them a lot. TW Explorer, they help you understand what people are talking about on Twitter. Urban Legend, one that I like so much. They debunk myth, whatever is myth, whatever is legend. Those stories that we heard when we were growing up, that spirits of the dead lived in this place before we came in, all those kind of stories that they tell us. These guys, they debunk them and verify them. Urban legends, I like them. Then whois.net, they help you verify domain names. We'll do a demonstration. Then Wolfram is one application I don't know how many people know about, but it is very important. It's like a search engine like Google search, but it doesn't function that way. For instance, if I say what is the population of Nigeria, I type that on Google search, I'm sure I'm going to get nothing less than 1 million articles on that. Wolfram doesn't give you 1 million articles. It works like a librarian. If you say what is the population of Nigeria, it gives you just that one answer. What is the population of Nigeria? It gives you just that one answer. You can do a comparison, Nigeria, Canada. Wolfram will not give you 60 million results like you'll likely get on Google search. It will just do a comparison between Nigeria and Canada. Population, GDP, independence, and all of that is an important tool. All right. Before we look at the tips, I want us to check something very quickly. Let us see this. Let's see this. Okay. this. Okay, let's look at this story. Let's look at this story and let's try to fact check this story. Cannibal killer slaughtered and ate 23 pizza delivery men, 6 Jehovah Witnesses, 2 postmen in past 7 years. Wow. The title is somewhat is scary. If you're a Jehovah's Witnesses member, I'm sure this will get to you, your member. If a postman, this will get to you. Wow, you'll be scared. You don't want to meet this kind of people delivering your job or discharging your duties. 23 pizza delivery men. There is no pizza delivery person that will not fret at this. First and foremost, take note of the title. Remember what we told you about titles that are often exaggerated. This is a sign. This is a red flag. All right. If you're not okay with the title, okay, yeah, let's start with the URL. The URL, World News Daily Report. Are you okay? Do you like the URL? Does it sound good? Does it sound something that a good thing can come from? Okay, if you can't tell from the URL, go over to the name. The name of the website, World News Daily Report. Is that okay by you? Okay, let's not conclude. Let's go further. Let's go to about us of this page. Let's see what the guys say about themselves, and let's see. World News Daily. Sorry, I think my internet is kind of slow. Okay, yeah. World News Daily Report is an American Jewish Zionist newspaper based in Tel Aviv. They are based in Tel Aviv. They say, our news team is composed of award-winning Christian, Muslim, Jewish journalists, retired Mossad agents. Wow, powerful people, powerful people. We are based in Tel Aviv since 1988. We are published. Okay, there you go. You see, they made an error, grammatical error, describing themselves. They are saying we are based in Tel Aviv since 1988, where we are published. They wanted to say where we have published. More than, okay, what they have there, more than. So if these guys have been there since 1988, I'm sure they would have corrected this information. And how come they have just 2 paragraphs to describe themselves and they have published over 200 copies of, So one of the things that we have to do here, since they said they've been there since 1988, one of the first things I want to do, I mentioned domain big data as one of our tools that we'll be using to verify. So let's go to domain big data. When you get, what you want to do here is to copy the name of the website. Anything outside or after the slash, the forward slash, just leave it. Copy just the basic name of the website. Let's go to domain big data and paste that. If you paste that on domain big data and we search, what do we get on domain big data? Okay. I think my internet is not very good. Okay, but then sorry about that. Okay, yeah, this is it. Domain big data returns this World News Daily Report, created 2013, not 1988. This website is just 6 years and 6 months old. 6 years and 6 months old. And now see the information about the person, the registrant, the owner. It is in Australia. So this is one very important tool you want to have, to verify sources. It is in Australia, not in Tel Aviv. It's not in Israel. Okay, another thing we want to do is let's look at this image here. To me, I'm sure this image was carefully selected to fit that title. Now, this looks to me like a mug shot. I don't know for certain, but then the one thing we are not saying here is what this man is. Why is his face like this? It could be photoshopped. This guy could be gymming. This guy could be telling a story, an emotional story that makes him feel sad or something you don't know. So one of the things you want to do is, if you right click, if you right click on this image right now, if you're using Google Chrome like me, you're going to see search Google for image. If you're not using Google Chrome, maybe Microsoft Edge, which I also use, you see search the web. But for now, let's stick with Google Chrome. Just right click and say search Google Chrome for image, and let's see what Google will return. Okay, this is what Google. Okay, there we go. The first information is coming from Snopes. We talked about Snopes verifying information, one of the tools. The first information it talks about Snopes. Okay, see another one, fake. Somebody says fake. So a lot of people have actually read the story and they are saying it is fake. But let's see what Snopes has to say about disinformation. Snopes has done their verification, and Snopes says false, false. Nothing like that happened in the USA. And Snopes will go further to give you details of their investigation. So that down here, you see details of that investigation from Snopes. Okay, if you don't want to conclude yet, let's go further. Now, I like this story so much because the guy actually, he's quoting people. You see quotes here as if they actually interviewed people and people gave their feedback. You could see an image of someone, and they say this guy is executive assistant chief Buchanan from the Houston PD, and that the guy is saying that they seized over 700 pounds. That's a lot. That's about 315 to 320 kilogram of unidentified meat. What comes to your head is that the meat they are talking about is human meat in 4 freezers. So see the kind of story they get you very emotional. So one thing you want to do, you could also check for this image. You could also verify this image. Now, one thing I want to do, let's use Tin Eye. I'll upload that image, the first one initially to Tin Eye. Already I captured that image on my computer. See, one thing I did here was to remove the background that website gave to this image. I removed the background and I have just this image because that background could be misleading. So I put this image up here, and I want Tin Eye to verify that image for me. Boom, there we go. 41.2 billion images. All right, 19 results. Okay, 19 results. One was uploaded 2015, another one 2017, another one 2016, another 2018, another 2013, 2015, 2012, 2010. So these images have been used, or this particular image has been used. So let's go back to that news and see, when did these guys actually publish this story? So these guys are smart enough not to put a date publication, but there's a way we are going to know if this information is correct or not. One of the ways is that if they allow for comments, just go to the comments and see when people actually commented on this story. And see, I'm telling you, see, these comments are very interesting. I'm sure this guy is just sitting somewhere laughing, when he's reading these comments. These people are actually very emotional, about, when you read the comment. Anyone concerned about what was the meat he served at those neighborly barbecues, because they said the guy is friendly, he used to organize barbecues for his neighbors and all of that. I've read through a lot of comments. You see, they are very emotional. People were raining abuses on the man, cursing government, cursing the police for not doing their job very well, and all of that. But this is the very first comment, February 2019. So it is not possible that this message was published. This information was published long ago, and the first comment was in 2019. So this was actually published in 2019. Also, Snopes actually mentioned that. I think I saw that in the spring of 2019, we received multiple inquiries about this. So Snopes has actually done part of the work for us. Snopes says it's 2019, but the image, Tin Eye is saying that image has already been in circulation even as far back as 2010. And this is just the first page of the 19 results. I'm sure if we go to second page, probably you would see one that is earlier than 2010. But I think 2010 answers it for us. So people have used that image long before that thing was published. So that is one of the ways you use these tools to fact check. Now let's go back to the information. Let's go back to the blog or the website where this information came from. Now, if you have to read, remember I said if you have to read everything. Look at the last paragraph of this story. If convicted of his crimes, Ivan Fedorovich faces a maximum prison sentence of 2,675 years in jail. Wow, is that possible? 2000, if you have to read everything. Don't just conclude. I'm just trying to imagine what people who made some kind of comments there actually read. They did not see these things. So if you have to read very well. Now I want us to also see something. If I go back to the About Us page of these guys, if you have to read everything. Now This is where the information about them stops. This is where it ends. But then we go down, you go down, leave a comment. And now, after leave a comment, we are still scrolling. The space and space and space. Why space, 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 space? If you get to the bottom, the very bottom, read this. Wow, this answers it. This confirms it. So if you have to read, read everything. World News Daily Report assumes all responsibility for the satirical nature of his articles and for the fictional, oh, first satire, satire first, second fiction, for the fictional nature of their content. All characters, all of them, all characters appearing on these articles in these websites, even those based on real people, are entirely fictional, and any resemblance between them and any person living, dead or undead, is purely a miracle. It's a miracle. So this is just this is more like a joke. This is false. This information is not correct. So if you do everything that we have done on every information that you get, you build a good fact checking skill. All right. So let's go back to our PowerPoint. Yeah, quickly, I'm going to give us some tips. If you're fact checking, these are some of the things that you need to know. They will help you. You have to develop good internet search skill. You have to develop good internet search skill. You need to understand how to use Boolean operators, how to do phrase searching, use your parentheses and all of that. They will save you time. They'll save you time. But very importantly, I need everybody to go home with this. Any information that comes your way, if you build a habit of always fact checking, use those tools that we have given you and the strategies. Check for the source, check for any or a sign of original, check for bad English, the logo and all of that. If you do that all the time, to any information shared with you on WhatsApp, on Facebook, wherever, if you build a fact checking habit over time, you will build a library of trusted and untrusted sources. For instance, I already know that anything I get from World Daily Report is satire, is fake, is fictional. So anytime I see information coming from that URL, I already know it is fake. I already know it's fake. So just be of the habit of fact checking all the time, and you build a collection of trusted and untrusted sources. Understand the different types of content. It is important you understand what is propaganda, what is misinformation, what is malinformation. So at a glance, they can help you tell if this thing is malinformation. And if it's malinformation, it's false. It is false. So understand the different types very well. You have to build critical thinking skills. Don't fall for the internet is like a maze, it's like a trap. A lot of digital deceptions online these days. We have Photoshop, we have a lot of tools that you can use to put up things, edit things, doctor things, even videos. So build critical thinking skills that will really help you. Always be careful before you share. Be careful before you share. Don't always be in a hurry to share. Be mindful of the information that arouse strong emotions, like the one we just checked right now, telling you how the man ate 23 or over 20 people. Anything that arouses strong emotions in you, just be suspicious. Be very, very careful before you share. Verify very well. And lastly, I'd love you to visit this link, Africa Check. They have some tips for us. Very interesting. I've gone through them and they are worth seeing. They are worth knowing. africacheck.org. How to fact check, tips and advice. Go to that website and get that tip. So lastly, people, for today, you need to understand this very well. Mainstream sources will carry mainstream news mainly. I don't expect CNN and BBC and all those other guys out there to carry information happening in my neighborhood. Local sources, local newspapers and the rest may carry the information, but you don't get to see them on main sources. And those information may be correct, they may be true. So understand that mainstream sources will carry mainstream news. All stories that are absolutely true will not be reported by mainstream information media. And fact-checking sources will not capture all the stories. Snopes will not capture everything. Africa Check will not capture everything. Just know that. But however, before you share, whether the thing happened in your neighborhood and it is true, before you share or publish any story, make sure that the story passes all fact checks before you share. Make sure that the story passes all fact checks. All right, people, thank you very much. We'll be leaving it here for now. But before we go, we'll take some questions. Someone is asking, what if What if logos are the same? What if logos are the same? Of course, the guy did his homework very well. So the website, the source has actually passed one test, your logo test. So continue with the others. Check for other things. You understand? So if logos are the same, continue with the others. Check for other things. Check the URL, check the name, and check for other things. Another person says here, if the primary purpose of the website is to make money and not to educate, then it is probably not credible information. It is just a red flag. Well, what I would do, even if the information the guy is putting up there is correct, it is good information, but the mission of the website is to make money. It is a gossip site or it is to generate funds. I would rather trade up. We talked about trading up. Why not go to a mainstream source? Why not go to a more credible source? A source that is more established, a source that is an authority in that area. So trade up that information from that site that their purpose is to make money. Go to somewhere else where just go somewhere else where they actually do their homework very well. They are known to carry good information. So trade up. How do librarians cope with a credible information platform with fake news? How do librarians cope with a credible information platform with fake news? The Punch newspaper once posted that the death of a former Enugu state governor, once posted the death of a former governor, and the guy was actually not dead. What do we do? What librarians are expected to do is to inform the people. If you the Punch, like you mentioned, is supposed to be a mainstream source in Nigeria, but severally people have reported information that are fake, carried by the Punch. What do? It is a responsibility as librarian to sensitize people. That is one of the reasons why the Nigerian Library Association Delta State chapter has put up this program to understand how to fact check. When you fact check and you see that the information is not correct, it is your information to put what is correct out there. Let the people know. We are not saying you should get into a fight with the Punch. Don't get into a fight with that source, please. Just put out there the correct thing. Put the correct thing out there and let people stay sensitized. Let people get the right information. That is what librarians should do. You are not the management of the Punch. You are not the one who hosted their website for them. So you cannot take their website down as a librarian. You cannot oust their manager or their management or all of that. So what you have to do is to educate the people. Educate the people. That is what you have to do as librarian. Like the IFLA, for instance, International Federation of Library Associations and Institutions, gave us some tips. Even AFLIA too, the African section of IFLA, gave us some information about how to fact check. So this is what we expect from librarians. Put information out there or use a person's picture in a fake news. Can't the site be sued? The person is saying, is it an offense for a website to wrongly quote someone or use a person's picture in a fake news? Can't the site be sued? Of course, they can be sued. They can be sued if they do that. It is wrong. How can you quote someone wrongly? How can you quote someone wrongly? If what you have said, you have put out there that the person said, and the person didn't say that, and the information is not good, you could be defaming the person's character. You could be defaming their character. So it is wrong if you misquote somebody. And in fact, a lot of us know that you don't have to have a legal education to know that. If you say something I didn't say, I'll get angry. I'll get angry. And if I have the means to sue, if I like to sue you, I can sue you for that. So, and if you put somebody's picture up on a fake news, of course it is a crime. But you know one thing about these websites that do these things, look at the information, like the website What News Daily Report that we checked right now. How would you know the owner? How would you know the owner of that website? They put up people's picture there, but you can't hold somebody, you can't hold anybody because there is no name attached to that website and all of that. That guy is just doing that to generate traffic, to make money. He's just doing that. So a lot of people, the truth is that a lot of people are fighting these things every day. Every day. Don't think that everyone is sitting back allowing these guys have their way. Put my picture up there and I know nothing about it and the information is fake. People are not sleeping. People are fighting all of these things. But well, you may not have that information, or probably when it happens to someone you know, or to you. So people are actually doing things about these things. It's an offense actually. Like we saw one picture there saying that is Assistant Chief Jeff Buchanan, or some, and that is someone else. That is someone else. You know, all of those things are actually fake. Okay, now quickly, I want to show us something. If we go back to Snopes, let's see what Snopes says about that guy. Just to add to what you have said, Snoop says here, the man, look at this last paragraph. The man falsely identified as Houston PD Executive Assistant Chief Jeff Buchanan is in fact former Executive Assistant Chief, former Executive Assistant Chief George Winnick, showing during his appearance at the June 2016 press conference. So different person, different occasion, and someone came and put up that information out there. It's a crime. It's an offense. It's not good. It's an offense actually. Somebody is saying, I want to know your thoughts about the affiliate programs as you as against clicking links if the website is talking about affiliate marketing and all of that. Now, what we are trying to say is that first, people should not fall for clickbait. You want to know my thoughts about affiliate programs, you know, as against clicking links if the website is talking about affiliate marketing. Now, clickbait is what we are advising people not to fall for. So it's something called click restraint. Restrain yourself from clicking a lot of things. If the mission, if you have checked other things, the mission of the website, mind you, what you're doing is not to check for affiliate marketing. What you're doing is to fact check. Something brought you to that website, a particular information brought you to that particular page. So your duty is to fact check what is on that page. But somewhere along the line, you see links, you see something, affiliate marketing, ads, ad networking, and all of that. You know, now it is not for you to, those are red flags, those are signs that could be the reason that person brought you to that website. Those are signs that this could be a fake website, this could be fake news, this information could be misleading, it could be misleading. So those are actually signs. When you see it, you begin to ask yourself, I have verified this information, I'm not saying anything that is true here, so why did this person bring me here? Don't be surprised you were brought there just to fall for those clickbait. So I hope I have answered that question correctly. So don't fall for those things. So people, okay, someone says, another person is asking, I have a paper on this topic. It's of great interest to me, but my findings show that very few countries as of 2017 have anti-fake news laws, especially on social media. Well, it is painful actually. It is painful actually. You know, my problem is that different governments have different things that are of interest to them, different things that they are pursuing, and all of that. You know, so some countries don't have anti-fake news laws. So one of the things I encourage you to do in your paper, in your research you're doing, probably you could come up with anti-fake news. You could draft something. You never can tell how far it will go. Draft something and publish it. Look at other countries that have and see what they have. It could go a long way. All right, I think this is the last question that we'll be taking. Deep fake technology is another fake news tool device. Can you please shed more light on this? Somebody says that somebody is giving us a tip here. Deep fake technology. Okay, this technology that you're talking about, I haven't explored. So I am not in a very good position to tell you about deep fake technology. But one thing I need you to understand is that we already have technology. There are a lot of computer programs that actually are created to put out fake news there right now. I'm looking for a particular name. It's not there in my head right now, but it's similar to what you're talking about, deep fake technology, so but this particular device, this particular tool you're talking about, I haven't used. I can thank you for the information. I can look at it, I can get information about it, and then maybe in a subsequent webinar, I don't know, we can talk about it, or we can share with everybody on their emails if we get to know more about that. Thank you for that information. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, we want to say thank you for joining us this evening. It's been a wonderful time with you guys. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, further questions to ask, or further comments, send to the email address that has been communicating with you. Thank you once again. Thank you, Nigerian Library Association, for the opportunity to be the teacher tonight. And please, let's encourage the guys behind the technical success of this webinar, digital citizens. So like the video, subscribe to the channel, please, as a way of encouraging them so they can work more with us. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, and bye for now.